All right. I believe we are recording. This is our very first video for the brand new 2020 season. As you can tell, we're going to be doing this via Zoom. I have one of my best friends, one of the funniest guys, if not the funniest guy I know, over here to my left. I don't know what side of the screen he's on for you. And we're going to be talking a little about fantasy football. We're going to be talking about the weekly matchup. So instead of that going in a write-up, we're going to have this face-to-face interaction. If you desire to do a Zoom call with me to put up on our YouTube channel, let me know. We'll schedule that out. You can give your thoughts and opinions. I'd love to have as many people on here as want to participate. Again, I will still do a weekly write-up talking about some of the things that I think make our league fun and important, but the weekly matchups are going to be done via YouTube. I think it's going to be a little bit more exciting. I'm going to have little timestamps, so you can just click on your matchup if you want to see who I think is going to win that week. So without further ado, let me turn it over to my co-host here, James Eubank. So you are coming in this season as the #1 option, meaning that somehow fate knew that you came in dead last year. Tell me why you think this season's going to be different than last season.
Oh, I think this season is going to be different from last season, mainly because I'm not going to come in last place this year. Whatever fate did to me last year was a complete fluke. I don't know what I did to upset the fantasy football. Well, we all know there's only one God. So anyway, but I don't know what I did. Maybe I upset our Lord, but anyways, that's not going to happen this year. I've been good, and that's what counts, right? You just got to be a good guy and take care of your family, and you're going to get rewarded with the #1 draft pick. And so I think that's what happened for me, and I'm excited to get my Christian McCaffrey this year for #1.
All right. So real quick, who do you think is going to come in dead last this year?
I think it's going to be Zach, to be honest.
Oh, man. All right. Big claim right there. See, it's funny because if I had to pick a winner right now for the whole season, I would pick Zach. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. That's really funny to hear you say.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't remember anyone else's name in our fantasy league, so I just know Zach.
Week 1 matchups. We're going to start off with Dontae Mast versus Carrie, Coffin. So we have 2 newcomers to our league battling each other this year. They both want to get off to a hot start. We have Kyler Murray versus Deshaun Watson. So if she leaves Watson in, he's going to have his game points ready by Thursday. And I think sometimes that's helpful when you play a guy early just to kind of see, okay, do I need to go for high upside or do I need to try and not lose the game this week? And then I really am excited to see Tyler Boyd versus Calvin Ridley. They're both the #2 wide receivers on their team. They both look to have big years. And I think this will be the smallest margin of victory that we have this week. I'm giving the win to Carrie. Now, what I would suggest Carrie do is pick up a running back. So some people out on the waiver wire are really good pickups this week. Maybe Malcolm Brown would help her team out. And I would say Mast could probably drop Jamison Crowder for someone. Maybe like an Adrian Peterson, service him for a few weeks. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think that Carrie is going to win this one, mainly because she's way up there, sky high, and I don't know who Mast is, but I do think Carrie will win
a lot. So he has the most to lose for sure.
That's right.
Next matchup, we have Chad versus Alex. And I'm going to call the first upset of the week here. I'm going to say Chad is going to beat out Alex, who currently is projected to win with 58%. If I had to summarize these teams, both these teams are the new hotness versus the old busted. And you can see that in every single position. They each have a super old guy like Drew Brees and the new hotness like Lamar Jackson. And this goes down to the running backs or wide receivers. Chad, get a defense, dude. I don't believe that you're going to be able to win this week without a solid defense. I think this will be a fun one to play out. They got a lot of new excitement and a lot of old standard. Giving the win to Chad. What about you?
Well, Lamar Jackson was kind of a surprise last year. I remember thinking, how's this guy throwing 5 touchdowns every single game? And I don't remember who had him, but I hated that person. So I guess this year I hate Chad. But I do think that just because Lamar Jackson is on that team, I expect him to throw at least 5 touchdowns this Sunday. So I'm thinking Chad's gonna win.
I think he'll throw for 2, but then he'll rush in 3. I don't know, man.
At least 3. Yeah, exactly.
It's exciting to watch. It's an exciting player to have. All right. Number 3, we have you versus Drew. Now, you're projected to win by 68%. Oh, man. Do you feel the pressure?
No, I think, I really believe this year is going to be my year. I got what I feel is a pretty good lineup. I feel like, honestly, Christian McCaffrey could carry my team. And that might be me being biased because he's a Stanford guy, and obviously I am too, and Stanford guys have to stick together. But, I also think Aaron Rodgers has got something to prove. He wants to show the new kid who's boss, and he's going to throw, a few touchdowns against Minnesota. And
was it years ago that you drafted Rodgers in the 2nd?
What? I don't remember that. It's because Lamar Jackson was gone already.
Yeah. Drew obviously has Mahomes. Mahomes is a difference maker too. He could carry his team to victory as well. I'm going to project you to win, and not only that, I think you will have the highest score of the week.
I couldn't agree more.
Drop Justin Jackson, though. Find someone to replace him. And if I had to give Drew advice, I would suggest that he drops Stafford and picks up another wide receiver to fill out his team. All right, number 4, we have Rhett versus Milkos. Milkos' team, I think you should just call it the second chance players. Every single one of those players that he has disappointed last year, but they're all great players. Like in a lot of ways, they're players that I would be excited to have. I would love to have. In some ways, you could argue that he got them all at a discount because they all have something to prove. So Gurley, Adams, Schuster, Ingram, even Joe Mixon outside of the first half where he didn't do well. So second chance team for a second-rate player like Milkos. And Rhett, this is all I'm going to say, dude. You need to drop Williams. Mike Williams is going to do nothing. I know you have loyalties to your Chargers. Pick up somebody else. Pick up a running back. Pick up a tight end. If you do that, I think you will for sure win this week. Rhett is the one who I have projected winning. I'm excited to watch this game, though, because both quarterbacks are going to be playing each other in real life. What do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one to watch. And, I'm kind of interested to see how Gronkowski is going to do on Tampa Bay with Tom Brady throwing to him and seeing if he's going to bring on a pretty big game or if he's going to fizzle out like he kind of did with his weight and after we retired from New England. So we'll see there. It's kind of up in the air for me. I think I would just go with Rhett based on winning percentage alone.
That's the WWE champ you're talking to. So keep that in mind.
I forgot about that.
All right. Week 5 is myself versus Eric. The thing that really stands out in my mind is I have Robert Woods. He has Cooper Kupp. Which wide receiver do you believe in more?
Oh, probably Woods, to be honest.
Man, I really thought you would have gone with little Cooper Kupp.
Well, I mean, Kupp does give you a lot of great puns, mainly my cup overfloweth. And really, that's the only pun I could think of. But that's where I would go. Woods can be an inappropriate pun, and we won't go there. But that's basically what I base my ratings on.
Yeah. Well, he's some touchdowns, man. He only scored 2 touchdowns last year. So I'm hoping that pick doesn't come back to bite me. He was my first wide receiver drafted, so we'll see what happens. I know he's not exciting, but I think he's like oatmeal. He's standard. He's reliable. He'll get the job done. I'm really worried about my quarterback situation. I don't love going into the week with Minshew. So maybe some considerations. I could go with a Goff. I could go with the Goff Rivers, or sorry, the Goff Robert Woods stack. Other options, Philip Rivers, man. No one wants him, and maybe he is someone I could pick up to kind of fill in the gaps while I see what happens with Minshew. Eric needs a running back. He needs to go pick up Nyheim Hines, Duke Johnson, somebody to help him out. He's really hurting there. But Zach Ertz, man, with all the injuries to that team, I think he'll be a difference maker. So I have Eric winning, though. I'm not going to start off, I think, strong this season. I think because I drafted a lot of running backs, it's going to take injuries to get my team going. But after I lose, maybe the first 2 weeks, I'll start my steamroll for the rest of the season. So I'm going to give this one to Eric. What about you?
Yeah, I watching you in the last few years over fantasy draft, I've always noticed that you try your best not to take a quarterback at all or towards the very end. And I really think that kind of messed you over a little bit by doing so. But with your analysis, thinking you're going to lose a few games, it might be more than a few. I predict now I'm changing Zach from Toilet Bowl to you Toilet Bowl just because I give you a hard time. But you know what? There is a pretty highly rated quarterback out there, a Super Bowl contender last year that you could pick up right now. Jimmy G. He's obviously a rock star stud that I know you love very much. So you should go ahead and grab him.
10 passes, man. Like, it's hard to beat. All right. Last matchup we have for this week to close out our episode. We have Matt versus Zach. We have the rookie sensation last year, Matt Coffin, versus a former champ in Zach. Now, I think Matt needs to figure out what he's going to do with his flex position. He has two useless players on his team in DeAndre Washington and Keyshawn Vaughn. He needs to drop one or both, as I would just drop both, and take a flyer on somebody else. Zach is the first person who I look at his team, and I don't think he needs to drop or add anybody. I think all his players are really well balanced. If his team stays healthy, I think he has a stacked team, and I think he has the best chance of winning. Obviously, though, you thought that he was going to come in last. I like both quarterbacks here. They're both really sneaky plays. Josh Allen could start off the month really strong. But who has more to prove than the GOAT, right? He wants to show, hey, I can win without Belichick. Maybe he has a high-flying game against New Orleans, and he just lets it rip. But it's hard to go against Brady, especially being a Falcons fan and seeing firsthand what he can do. So I'm giving the win to Matt solely based off of Brady. What do you think, though?
Obviously, Zach, I put you to be dead last. And it really was because I could only remember your name off the top of my head because we did our previous YouTube video together. I think I agree with JP that you do have a very stacked team, and that you're going to, be a very good contender this year. I'm actually going to give it to Zach as winning this week's week 1 fantasy games.
All right, so our first discrepancy here. All right, let's see how the week plays out. Any closing remarks on your behalf?
No, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on here and try to be funny.
I'm taking new applications for next week's. No, seriously, I appreciate it. Love having a co-host. Love having someone else's ideas. If you want to be on the show, please let us know. I'd love to get you in on a Zoom call if that interests you. And otherwise, good luck to everybody. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.